Joining us on the phone today from Texas is John Young. He is the attorney of Pastor Israel Hawkins. Now, Pastor Hawkins has given John Young permission to speak on behalf of himself and the house of Yahweh. Because we kind of only have one side of the story, I've been very careful to say it's what some people call this or that. This is what is alleged to have happened. I assume that Israel Hawkins would disagree with these characterizations.
Well, absolutely, Dr. Phil. The characterizations that I'm hearing seem to be focused a lot on individual responses to a religious message. The tenets and the message of the house of Yahweh, you accurately state, Dr. Phil, that it's a sort of a mix between Christianity and Judaism, and they recognize the Savior in Jesus Christ, but still continue to follow the Levitical and Old Testament laws.
Is this a polygamous organization?
I have seen absolutely no evidence whatsoever of that.
Do you feel that Norman and Alicia have anything to fear in terms of retribution or retaliation from Israel Hawkins or the House of Yahweh?
Absolutely not. Excuse me for cutting you off, but absolutely not.
Norman says that that Israel Hawkins preached multiple wives and that girls were trained for marriage at 12 years of age. Is that true or false?
That the church must follow the laws of the government that God puts in place over man. I think that Pastor Hawkins would tell you that the scriptures themselves do not strictly prohibit as sinfulness multiple marriages, but the laws of man do, and therefore the house of Yahweh prohibits multiple marriages. As to the grooming of children, I've been out to the church grounds. I've worked with these folks for many months now. I've simply seen no evidence of it, and I've interviewed dozens of young people that are members of the church. They live on the church grounds and that live off the church grounds. And Dr. McGraw, Dr. Phil, I've just not seen any evidence of that.
Alicia, you're shaking your head. Did you want to say something?
I don't believe that. I personally do not believe that because I know of a girl who was 15 when I left that married him. She was one of his concubines.
All right, well, we're out of time and have to move on. John Young, thank you so much for giving us your perspective on this and what Israel Hawkins wanted us to know.
Well, thank you, sir, for having us. We appreciate it.
Now, Maria, you were actually inside. Is John Young, Israel Hawkins' attorney, giving a fair representation of what you saw and what you've learned about the House of Yahweh?
I think regardless of all the allegations that have been, spoken about today, it is just not a very healthy place for anybody to be. I drove in, I went to the sanctuary that they're talking about and attended one of the services. And the whole topic is about, doom and gloom, and it's all fear-based and very, contamination of food. He talks about sexual disease a lot. He seems to be fixated on that for some reason. I think he's even said that global warming is, attributed to sexual diseases of some kind. So, it's really bizarre.
Global warming is an STD?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. We'll be right back.